These last couple weeks, I've been super busy, but we're talking Jasmin Crockett, Hakeem Jeffries, and the Democrats being worked like a puppet by Donald Trump to release these Epstein files. Yeah, we're talking Epstein files. Let's go. Subscribe.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderous scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot-bellied goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
So while I was gone, Donald Trump called some reporter a piggy and said, quiet piggy, quiet piggy. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, just like most of the things that he does like that, but because I could care less about that piece of shit reporter. She probably smells like sulfur. Anyway, so what's up, everybody? It's been not so busy of a week in politics these last couple weeks. Luckily, I was super busy with everything at home, with work and stuff, so I really couldn't do too much. But once I saw the Epstein stuff dropping, I kind of had to jump in here. So we're going to talk just a little bit about Jasmin Crockett and Hakeem Jeffries and Miss Plaskett, or whatever her name is, from the Virgin Islands, that was getting direct puppetry from Jeffrey Epstein while she was doing a congressional hearing with Michael Cohen and Donald Trump, trying to incriminate Donald Trump even further. So these emails that were leaked and all that stuff, we're going to touch on all that stuff, guys. I just got to be honest here, man. Did Donald Trump really play 4D chess here and kind of wane his kind of desire to release these files to get the Democrats to jump up and down and scream that there must be something in there? Believe me, dude, the Democrats were in power for 4 years. They broke all previous precedent to basically use every type of lawfare you could possibly imagine that we would never use in our political system to go after Donald Trump, to remove him from the ballot so he would not be allowed to run for president. This started all the way back on whenever Obama started spying on him, even before that, when they tried to overthrow Donald Trump's presidency. These people will stop at nothing. So if you think there was something in these files that the Democrats could have used, but they didn't over the last 4 years, you're smoking crack, you're super delusional, and you're just wrong. So I just got this feeling that Trump baited them into begging for these files to be released, because either it's a whole bunch of nothing, or the only thing that's going to make them look bad is them. It's just, I don't know, dude. I don't think Trump's going to be in these files with anything that is substantive at all. But let's find out how hypocritical the Democrats want to be. You want to find out? It's pretty bad.
Yeah, Congresswoman, let's take a closer look at that email from Epstein where he writes to the author Michael Wolff saying this, and it's a direct quote, redacted victim, the name was redacted. Mar-a-Lago, Trump said he asked me to resign, never a member ever. Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Elaine to stop. Obviously, we don't have the full context here, but I'm curious, how do you read this specific email and what it means?
Yeah, I think that it is showing that he was well aware and he was trying to cover his tracks at that point in time. And I think that that's what you saw from Jeffrey. Obviously, it'd be better if we could talk to Jeffrey today, but it was very interesting that ultimately Jeffrey Epstein died sitting in prison during Trump's administration.
What? And this basically is why Trump went ahead and released these files. It's because the Democrats, that's what the hoax is. If you hear the Democrats say Trump keeps calling the Epstein Island a hoax, the hoax is that Trump has something to do with it. They just talk about it in vague terms. Jasmin Crockett just insinuated that Trump killed Epstein while he was in jail, that Trump ordered the hit on Epstein. She finds it very odd that Epstein died while Trump was in office, while he was in jail. Don't you find that odd? They just insinuate shit to incriminate Trump. And that's why he just wants to release everything. Everything with Trump and Epstein has been out in the open. They used to rub elbows together. They were rich elite people that ran in the same circles. Epstein continued to recruit young women that were working at Trump's golf course in regular jobs. A 16-year-old girl that brings you sandwiches on the golf course. Epstein was recruiting these girls and taking them away and hiring them himself for his island to do massages and do gross shit and blackmail elites. Trump told them that, see, everyone keeps glossing over it. Trump knew about the girls. See, he knew about the girls. Yeah, because he told them to stop. So, yeah, he knew about it, and he told you to stop, and when you wouldn't, he kicked you out of the club and blackballed you from all of his places. That's what you do. If you snitch on him, then you risk a billionaire's wrath, and Trump didn't do that. I still think Trump had something to do with Epstein being that whatever the whistleblower was that led the feds to Epstein. I believe Trump had something to do with it. That's just my gut feeling. Continue.
I just hope the control room can put this email up. It says, I think you should let him hang himself. And this is in response to a question of whether CNN would plan to ask Trump in a town hall about the relationship with Epstein. Epstein said, how do we craft an answer for him? And Michael Wolff says in this email, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime.
Yes.
That's a full email.
Yes. That is clear that Jeffrey Epstein had something to hang over his head. Why else or how else could you have a debt that you are able to? Now, exactly what it was, who knows, right? And that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. But the fact that Trump does not want these files to be out, to me, says that he has more to hide than him actually being able to exonerate himself.
Gee, I wonder what Epstein had to hang over Trump's head. The man ran a Black Ops Mossad style, whatever you want to call it, blackmail scheme against elites to incriminate them with young girls and sex acts. What do you think Epstein was hanging over his head? All he has to say is, yeah, Trump's my best friend and we hang out all the time and he's on my island all the time and it will make Trump look bad. He doesn't have to have evidence. He doesn't have to have him on the flight log. He doesn't have to have anything. Epstein can just blackmail Trump and say, if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm going to say that you were my partner in this and you were involved. It's really just that simple. He doesn't have to have evidence. Do the Democrats ever have evidence of anything that Trump does? Of course not. They just say it, put it on the front page, and then they print their retraction and their legal notice, a month later on the back page and nobody ever reads it. They don't give a shit. They'll just say whatever they want. I'm pretty sure Epstein would just say whatever he wanted. And Epstein was being investigated at this time and has already dealt with the case. And the dude was just doing political positioning to make sure that he always has a favor and always has something in the White House. That's what that type of person does. What? I mean, honestly, if these emails have proved anything to me, it is that whenever Trump kicked Epstein out of his clubs, It made Epstein very bitter. Epstein hated Trump. It's very obvious from these emails. I don't know what the fuck you're reading, but it's obvious.
And then the other email talking about that we used initially, I'm just trying to find that email so I can be really precise here, but it talks about how Epstein is emailing Maxwell saying that Trump was with a victim at his house for several hours. This is an email from April 2nd, 2011. Republicans are saying that that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She's been very outspoken. Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. What do you make of that, and can you confirm that?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is, so I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word on who it is that's redacted. And I don't know why they would necessarily redact someone's name who is deceased at this point.
The Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No. I understand, but I'm just saying, like, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims. And obviously, she wrote a book. She told her truth. Whether or not she told everything, who knows?
What an absolute fucking scumbag. So she already insinuates that Trump ordered the killing of Jeffrey Epstein because he was the president at the time. Then the Democrats redact Virginia Giuffre's name because they know that if they just put victim there, they'll just think, well, Trump spent hours in a room with one of those young girls, those poor girls. He spent hours in a room with one. What do you think he was doing in there with her? No, that's not the case. And then she's going to be like, can you believe the Republicans would redact someone who's dead? That's just weird. Why did they do that? Oh, well, we did that? Oh, well, I know that we did that. We did that because we care about the victims. We redact things for a purpose, and we don't know what the Republicans are doing. It's just, girl, you just got caught. You just got caught. It's really just that simple. You're a low IQ fucking retard. You're absolutely retarded. You just got called out live on TV. You didn't know how to respond, and you just mumbled out some, we care about victims is why we redact names. Girl, you just blamed the Republicans for redacting it and said it was stupid to redact it because she's dead. And then when you were told that your side did it, you went, oh, well, that's because we care about victims. You are such a lying scumbag. And people are going to clap like, yeah, girl, you told them. Dumb. Fucking dumb. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm cursing this much. I'm sorry. But this shit is disgusting. It really is. Virginia Giuffre said that Trump had never touched the girls, never did anything inappropriate with them. He probably spent hours in that room with her because they were devising how to whistleblow on Jeffrey Epstein without getting them all in trouble. It's probably like something like that, but leave it to the Democrats, and that's why Trump is calling this a hoax. All the insinuations, all of the backdoor, let's redact that name so it looks bad against Trump. That's the hoax. The hoax is trying to make Trump look bad and include him in this Epstein bullshit. It has nothing to do with it. Not to mention, don't discount at all the fact that Jasmin Crockett, that retarded bitch, just smeared Virginia Giuffre's name by saying, "Well, she told her truth, she told her story, but do we know that she told everything? We don't know if she told everything." Again, insinuating that she left out things about Trump on purpose to protect Trump. Disgusting. So while all these Democrats go on TV and insinuate about a bunch of stuff that Trump may have did or maybe didn't do, or maybe the victims left that stuff out about Trump to protect Trump because some odd reason to make their story sound good. On top of that, while they were using lawfare to go after Trump in 2019 and it dragged Michael Cohen in there to incriminate Donald Trump, a representative from the Virgin Islands, where Epstein's island was at in the Virgin Islands, his representative in Congress is Miss Plaskett, okay? While Miss Plaskett was sitting on her congressional hearing waiting to ask questions to Michael Cohen, she was getting text messages. Jeffrey Epstein was puppeteering a Democrat congresswoman. She's a delegate. She's not a congresswoman, but you understand. She represents the Virgin Islands. She was asking him, "Hurry up, I'm next." In a text message already confirmed, he said, "Ask Michael Cohen about Roma. Roma is Trump's assistant. Ask about that. She'll know." And she's like, "What should I ask? Who's Roma? Is that an acronym? What does that mean? Hurry up, I'm next." And then Epstein tells her what to ask Michael Cohen in a live congressional hearing. He even chastises her and says, "Are you chewing gum right now?" He donated a bunch to her and helped get her elected, get her appointed to her position, whatever it is with that delegation for the Virgin Islands. His islands were there. Do you think these people were never there at his island? Do you think Miss Plaskett never went to the island in the place in the territory that she represents? You think she had no idea what was going on there and where that money came from or anything like that? And she's sitting there in Congress in 2019. Dude, it was in 2019. That was after he was charged. He was on house confinement because he's a pedophile and he was a registered sex offender, and she tried to say that it wasn't publicly known what Jeffrey Epstein was up to in 2019 when she was having text messages back and forth. And whenever she was done asking the questions that Epstein fed to her like a goddamn puppet, he said, "Good job." Their Democrats are on his payroll. They were on his payroll, dude. Trump had nothing to do with it. It's embarrassing. This is embarrassing for them. Now, listen to Jasmin Crockett defend Plaskett. Listen to this shit.
Thank you so much. This is a distraction to take away from the fact that the guardians of pedophiles is literally trying to protect pedophiles. The president is a convicted felon and an accused sex offender. Stacey Plaskett hasn't been accused of either. So what are we actually here talking about? Trump and Epstein were besties. We've all seen the pictures of them. We saw the birthday book. So why are y'all more interested in talking about Stacey Plaskett than Trump's relationship with the man?
First of all, it's embarrassing that this woman had to have someone to write this script for her, and she has to read it word for word. She's an absolute low IQ donkey show. She is absolutely retarded. This is all a distraction from the pedophile protector, the guy that was in pictures with Epstein. You know how incriminating it is that Trump had pictures that were taken with him and Epstein together decades ago? You know, right before he kicked him out of his clubs forever. You know how those pictures are so incriminating and make Trump look really bad, and he's the pedophile protector because you know that they're best friends. You saw that birthday book that we completely fabricated and made up and made it seem like that like Trump wrote that birthday book thing. You know the things we made up. Aren't you convinced that this is how bad Trump is? Listen, don't look at the text messages where Epstein is directly involved with Congress and congressional hearings where he's puppeteering our Democrat lawmakers. I don't know if she's a lawmaker, but our Democrat politicians. Jeffrey Epstein is working their mouths like a goddamn puppet with his hand all the way up their asshole.
If we want to hear you
But
talk, I will step
this
up
is
out up there.
that's just a
Work your mouth like
distraction
a
from
puppet.
the bad things. Did you see the birthday book? Did you not see the picture from 20 years ago? He's a monster.
When did y'all become so moral? Because I can remember when y'all wouldn't sign the discharge petition. All of a sudden, everybody wanted to vote for this, but you wouldn't sign the discharge petition. Until we decide that we are going to go after the actual rapists and pedophiles, miss me with your moral high ground. Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous. You decide that you want to punish a sitting member of Congress because you are concerned about her text messages. Well, maybe you should be more concerned about those sex tapes that we still haven't gotten access to. Maybe you should be more concerned with the fact that the president, his name is mentioned in the files way more than Stacey Plaskett's name. Listen, I'm not saying that anything is right or wrong, but listen, if you're trying to figure out what's going on with somebody that's a criminal, then you maybe need to talk to their associates. That's exactly why maybe she was getting text messages. I'm not saying she was or wasn't. But considering the fact that they were talking to another associate of the president's and maybe she needed intel, you'd have to go talk to somebody that maybe knows what he's up to.
Time has expired. Be more articulate when you speak to the children.
Yes, sir. I will make better mouth.
Do you understand now why she needed that script? She said, now, if you're going to protect the pedophile protector, you want to know what everybody doing, then you want to go ahead and talk to his associates. If you want to know what the man doing, then you want to talk to his associates. You know, not the person that was like literally text messaging back and forth to the person. That's not an associate. Actually, now I just said something out loud that was dumb. Hold up. Let me, girl, what did you just say? You just said investigate the people that were his associates if you want to know what he was doing. That's what they're going to do, and all the associates are going to be Democrats. Most of them, at least. This is really odd. She's she wants you to talk to Epstein's associates, an associate being someone that was in a picture with him 15 years ago is his associate and hasn't had any contact with since. But the person that was texting back and forth in a congressional hearing, that's not an associate. Begging him for money, taking his money, calling him a constituent of yours, and getting text messages and direction and programming from him to ask your questions during a hearing, that's not an associate. That Trump's his associate. Do you understand? Are you retarded? Are you retarded yet?
It's because moments ago, lawmakers rejected a resolution to censure Democratic delegate Stacey Plaskett. She represents the Virgin Islands for texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a 2019 hearing that featured Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. These were texts that were among the 20,000 pages of documents the House released last week, and they show that Epstein texted Stacey Plaskett saying, quote, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets, referring to Trump's longtime assistant, Rona Graff. Plaskett responded, quote, Rona, and then asked, quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym? Epstein replied, that's his assistant. A few minutes later, Plaskett asked this.
As Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
A minute after Plaskett wrapped up her questioning there, Epstein texted her, quote, good work. The text exchange comes just 3 months after the Miami Herald published its investigation detailing Epstein's abuse of young girls. And tonight, House Democrats are fiercely defending Stacey Plaskett, with the leader, Hakeem Jeffries, calling the censure vote a political stunt, as Plaskett is echoing that defense and denying that Epstein had any influence on her questions.
So finally, we'll move to Hakeem Jeffries. So they are going to defend Plaskett's communications with Jeffrey Epstein during that oversight congressional hearing, whatever the hell it was, and go back to Trump having a picture taken 20, 25 years ago with Epstein and having no contact since. And they keep trying to trace all these assertions back to Trump, all these innuendos, all these little backdoor, well, what do you think Trump was doing? It's just all this weird shit, but there's like hard evidence that these people are communicating with Epstein. They're not only taking his money, begging for his money, but then also taking his advice, taking his programming, asking the questions that Jeffrey Epstein wants you to ask because he has inside information on it. And again, I'll go back to why is Epstein doing this stuff? Because he's friends with Donald Trump? Is Epstein feeding information to one of Donald Trump's political enemies during a congressional hearing, trying to incriminate Donald Trump? Epstein giving them good inside information that he somehow got through his blackmail schemes? That's because he's friends and he's besties with Donald Trump. That's why he's doing that stuff to Trump? Really? Or how dumb are you? Because it's so clear that in the end, this was 5 years. Hakeem Jeffries solicited Jeffrey Epstein for money 5 years after he was found to be guilty of child sex trafficking. He was still asking him for money and inviting him to a dinner 5 years after. Is that an associate? Or do we want to talk about that picture and that birthday thing that we fabricated? What, a picture 20 years ago and no contact since? Or you were asking him for money, a couple years ago, and then you were just talking to him, a couple years before he died, like a year before he died. Not even a year before he died, like the year he died. Nah, Trump's bad. Not to mention the Democrats, including Plaskett, think that this is a good defense for receiving inside information from Epstein, okay, that that they paid for. They had to pay him with favors for him to give them this information. So there's transactional information going on here, but they're really defending it and thinking it's a good defense to say, well, Miss Plaskett is a hard-nosed investigator, and she was trying to pin Trump down, so she'll get information from anyone she needs to get information from. If she needs to talk to a murderer about inside information to stop further crimes, then that doesn't make her friends with a murderer, right? But that's not what you're doing, though. You're buddy have personal text messages between you and a guy who you weren't talking to like some regular criminal, some guy that maybe had inside information about a cartel or something like that. This is a guy who is known to run a blackmail pedophilia ring, a pedophilia ring and a pedophile island that is specifically to draw inside information out at the expense of murdering the innocence of children and young girls. And guess what? You took his information, which means what? You were enabling him to continue blackmailing and destroying the lives of innocent young women with disgusting, depraved, degenerate sexual acts to get this information. And you accepting his information is everything that we need to know that you are okay enabling him to continue doing his blackmail ring as long as you got the information you wanted on the people that you wanted it on. And that's fucking disgusting.
Disgusting! Well, let me ask you about you, because the White House has been highlighting an email that I'm sure you've seen today that Jeffrey Epstein got in 2013. They say it shows you were soliciting money and dinner from an Epstein. The email was not sent from you. It was sent from a political consulting firm called Dynamic SRG that says, "We are thrilled to announce we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved." What's your response? Do you recall that email being sent to Jeffrey Epstein from that team?
Yeah, of course, I have no recollection of the email. I've never had a conversation with him, never met him, know nothing about him other than the extreme things that he's been convicted of doing. And that's why, I'm just strongly supportive of the effort, backing the survivors to make sure that everything can come out, whatever is in those Department of Justice files.
So you never got a donation from Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that?
Certainly not.
So 5 years after it was made public that Jeffrey Epstein was a sex trafficker, whatever you want to call him, a sex offender, Hakeem Jeffries' staff was still reaching out to him to try to solicit that sweet, sweet blackmail, little kid murdering the innocence of children money. They still wanted that sweet, sweet blackmail money from him. Like all the other Democrats, I'm sure, were getting paid from Jeffrey Epstein. They were all on his payroll. They're all disgusting. I'm sure there's some Republicans too. Now, while I was making this, Jasmin Crockett decided to go on CNN and defend her claiming that Lee Zeldin took money from Jeffrey Epstein. During her defense of Stacey Plaskett, she said that she listed like 4 or 5 Republicans that are on the books of taking money from Jeffrey Epstein. So it's not so bad. The Republicans did it too. And she named nothing but rhinos and people that we absolutely hate. Mitt Romney, George Bush, Dick Cheney. I can't remember who else she named. Just people that we don't give a shit about, rhinos. And then she named Lee Zeldin, and Lee Zeldin's a current person, so I thought that was kind of weird. What the hell is that about, Lee Zeldin? Then it turns out it's Jeffrey Epstein, Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, no relation to the pedophile. So she knows that. Jasmin Crockett knows that. So CNN brings her on and says, "Do you want to correct the record?" Because Lee Zeldin called her out immediately that it's Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, not the pedophile. And wait till you see how she covers this up and tries to lie. She's either full-blown retarded or she knows that all of her voters are full-blown retarded. This is the most wild, blatant, lie-in-your-face bullshit I've ever seen. Wait till you see this.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that...
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein.
You're very retarded.
Not only does she say with a straight face that during a censoring hearing for Stacey Plaskett in the context of talking to Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile, when she went up there and she smeared all the Republicans that have Jeffrey Epstein listed on their donor paperwork, she didn't specifically say that it was the pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It could be any Jeffrey Epstein, a regular Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. It could be any of them. She didn't specifically say Lee Zeldin took money from the pedophile. She could have meant any Jeffrey Epstein. Do you buy that? Again, she's basically alluding to, oh, what's wrong? Are the Republicans associated with the pedophile Jeffrey Epstein? Whenever I said Republicans took money from Jeffrey Epstein, I didn't say the pedophile. Why is it in your head that Republicans are associated with Jeffrey Epstein? That's on you for assuming I meant the pedophile. Girl, what? And she's not even done yet. This shit gets it gets even worse. Wait till you see this shit, dude.
Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled. And that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies.
So she said a Jeffrey Epstein. She didn't say the pedophile. And if you associate Republicans with pedophiles giving them money, that's a Republican problem, not a me misleading people problem. You understand? You know, you're a fucking retard. So just take that and deal with it. Number two, she was just trying to teach Republicans a lesson, because they're smearing Stacey Plaskett to say that she took money from some Jeffrey Epstein and they didn't do their due diligence. I just was trying to show them what could potentially happen if people just look up who donated money to who. Some people could get confused and be confused about which Jeffrey Epstein gave money to, just like I was whenever I said that and misled the entire American public. But also, don't worry about it, because, well, wait a minute. Did Stacey Plaskett get money from the pedophile, or was it the doctor or somebody different? Oh no, it was the pedophile. Okay, then what the fuck are we talking about? What are you talking about?
Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says, is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations. Right, so number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein, because I knew that we would need more time to really dig in.
Someone might say, well, your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC.
About what you should ask.
I honestly know that he had never been convicted of any federal crimes at that time.
But he had been in jail already.
He had been in jail. And my deal is this. The Republicans are constantly texting with a 34-count convicted felon. So if it's okay for them to text him at any point in time, then I'm not going to say that that's right or wrong, especially to the extent that you're talking about kicking someone off their committee.
So guys, she wasn't wrong. She wasn't lying. She wasn't misleading anyone. She was only, if she was only saying some sort of Jeffrey Epstein donated to Lee Zeldin and those other guys. If you associate pedophile with Republicans, that's a Republican problem. Also, I certainly wasn't lying. Also, it's not my fault because I only had 20 minutes. Also, it's somebody else's fault because somebody else did the research. Also, if you don't buy any of that bullshit I just said, Trump's technically a convicted felon, so Trump is exactly the same. It's the same person as Jeffrey Epstein. He's a pedophile. He's a monster, the same as Epstein. So what's the problem with what I said? I'm just retarded. You can't hold me accountable for anything that I did. You can't hold Hakeem Jeffries accountable for anything that him or his staff did, soliciting money from a pedophile. None of this stuff matters. Remember, a picture was taken with Trump 20 years ago with Epstein, then he kicked him out of a club, and some birthday card bullshit that the Democrats totally fabricated, and no one has any idea where the hell that shit came from. Every email that you see is Epstein being mad at Trump and not liking Trump and trying to get Trump in trouble. So let me ask you a real simple fucking question here. Why would, if there is something incriminating about Trump and sex crimes with children in the Epstein files, if Epstein had Trump dead to rights with doing some sort of sexual act, some sort of degeneracy, even if it wasn't illegal, but just some sort of sexual deviancy, and he had Trump on tape or dead to rights in any sort of way, why does he need to text message Stacey Plaskett to give dirt on Trump during a congressional oversight hearing? He would just dump the documents that show Trump is doing degenerate bullshit while he's married and has a family at home. Why wouldn't Epstein just dump the dirt that he has on Trump instead of feeding back channel nonsensical leads to the Democrats? Are you dumb? How dumb are you? I just want to know how dumb you are. Tell me in the comments below if you're retarded enough to tell me that Trump is a pedophile when he's diddling kids and the Democrats had this shit for 4 years. The she said Crockett said, "Oh, the Republicans," or Hakeem said, "The Republicans have been hiding these documents for months. You guys were in charge for 4 years and had them and didn't release this shit. What are you talking about, dude? These I can't take." That's why I did the Alex Jones song at the beginning, because honestly, dude, I can't take these people. I can't take them serious. They're dumb as shit. Everyone's fucking retarded. What is going on? This shit is dumb. Anyway, guys, if you liked the video, I got some more shit going on. I got some other videos coming. I'm working on some other things. I'm trying some different styles, some different techniques, but I need you to hit those buttons. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's very important to me. I hope you liked the video, man. The Epstein files are coming. There's going to be nothing really about Trump. There might be some Republican stuff in there that's a little shocking. Who knows? I don't really think it's going to change anything. I don't think there's any information in there that we haven't already been leaked, that hasn't already been leaked to us. I don't really expect to see too much other than the Democrats stepping in bullshit. Tell me in the comments, do you think this was Trump playing 4D chess the entire time and making them, making them beg for what would bury them, and Trump just tricked them into doing it? I don't, dude, it just, something isn't making sense to me. But this is just what a weird timeline we're on right now, man. All right, man, I love you guys. Hit those buttons, do them things. I'll see you guys shortly. And fucking quiet, piggy.